What is Form 4868? Form 4868 is an IRS form that taxpayers can use to request an automatic extension of time to file their federal income tax return. When is the deadline to file Form 4868? The deadline to file Form 4868 is the same as the deadline to file your federal income tax return, which is typically April 15th. However, if the deadline falls on a weekend or holiday, the deadline is the next business day. Where can I file Form 4868? You can file Form 4868 electronically or by mail. To file electronically, you can use the IRS's free file program or a commercial tax preparation software program. To file by mail, you can send Form 4868 to the IRS at the following address: Internal Revenue Service, Ogden, Utah 84201-0027. Why should I file Form 4868? You should file Form 4868 if you need more time to file your federal income tax return. There are many reasons why you may need more time, such as if you are waiting for tax documents from your employer or if you are having trouble preparing your return. Who can file Form 4868? Any individual taxpayer can file Form 4868. This includes U.S. citizens, resident aliens, and non-resident aliens who are required to file a federal income tax return. How do I file Form 4868? To file Form 4868, you will need to complete the form and provide the following information. 1. Your name and address. 2. Your social security number. 3. The tax year for which you are requesting an extension. 4. The reason why you need an extension. 5. The date by which you expect to file your tax return. What is the maximum extension that can be granted using Form 4868? The maximum extension that can be granted using Form 4868 is 6 months. This means that if the deadline to file your tax return is April 15th, you can file an extension until October 15th. When will I receive a notice from the IRS acknowledging my extension request? The IRS will typically send you a notice within 2 weeks of receiving your Form 4868. The notice will confirm the date by which you need to file your tax return. What happens if I file my tax return after the extended due date? If you file your tax return after the extended due date, you will be subject to late filing penalties. The penalty is 5% of the unpaid tax for each month that your return is late, up to a maximum of 25%. How can I avoid late filing penalties? There are 2 ways to avoid late filing penalties. 1. File your tax return by the extended due date. 2. Pay estimated taxes throughout the year. What is the estimated tax payment deadline for the first quarter of 2023? The estimated tax payment deadline for the first quarter of 2023 is April 15th. Where can I find more information about Form 4868? You can find more information about Form 4868 on the IRS website. You can also contact the IRS at 1-800-TAX-1040 for assistance. Why is it important to file my tax return on time or by the extended due date? It is important to file your tax return on time or by the extended due date to avoid late filing penalties. You may also be subject to interest on any unpaid taxes. Who can help me file my tax return? You can file your tax return yourself or you can hire a professional tax preparer. There are also many free and low-cost tax preparation resources available. How can I find a professional tax preparer? You can find a professional tax preparer by searching online or by asking for recommendations from friends or family members. You can also contact the IRS for a list of tax preparers in your area. What are some tips for filing my tax return? Here are some tips for filing your tax return. 1. Start gathering your tax documents early. 2. Be accurate and complete when filling out your tax